Take a look, but I gotta get here. I'm going on the PI podcast with Dino and Ashley.
You know I haven't started recording anything yet, right?
You're on the podcast with
Still
Dino
not.
and Ashley.
Nope. Still not. We're still waiting.
For who?
Is that one on?
Yeah.
You're on the podcast with Dino and Ashley.
I don't know if Zach
trying.
can put it in there, but this is our third time doing that right now because I hit it early.
I am sure that Zach will find a way to make that happen. Yeah, you have to wait for everything
I thought
to be
all the
recording.
buttons were on.
We're doing all. Well, I'm proud of you this time. You didn't hit the play button. We hit the record button.
I only hit the play button because you said hit the play button. And you're like, I didn't mean the play button. I meant the record button.
This is a soda water, but I really wish it was a beer right now. I'm not gonna lie. It's been one of those days. It's just like, all right, I'm sitting there drinking coffee, and the words are coming out of my mouth. Fox, not so close to and as she's spinning, it just arm whips and slams the coffee, burning fire hot coffee all over me.
I know, and yours is actually burning fire hot because he keeps it in an ember mug.
Yeah. So that was to start the day. And
Historical
July. I can't get away with anything with you.
Especially not with these on because I can hear everything.
All the little things.
And all your little nuancy little ways you say things. Yeah, I can hear it all. Oh, man. All right. Well, we thought it'd be kind of fun to do a podcast on having fun.
It's been too serious lately. I'm sick of all this serious stuff, okay? I'm sick of it. Let's have some fun.
No, but seriously, how to have fun together and what that kind of looks like. And, I was thinking about, it is sometimes hard to have fun because life is hard. Marriage is hard. Kids can be hard. There's just a lot of hard. Oh, jeez. What is this, the Seinfeld episode with the Pez?
Everything doesn't have to be so hard all the time.
I know,
and I'm
but
sick of it. I
I'm
want
thinking,
fun now too. So I'm glad you brought up
well,
this
I'm thinking
topic.
of that sermon that we watched by Britt Merrick, and he was talking about, it was a 1 Thessalonians verse.
Yep.
And it was about praise. I don't even remember what it was exactly. I should do prep before we sit down.
Should we prepare for these things? Maybe
well, it's in my heart though, and in my mind. So it was like pray without ceasing, rejoice in the Lord always.
Ceasing.
Just ceasing. This is how you have fun together. Just make fun of each other.
This is what we're
and
gonna
then
do.
don't care and don't get your feelings hurt.
Actually, all right.
That is true.
On that
But
note,
wait.
it should be 9 nice things for every one goof off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we do have a
just
rule.
throw-
Let's hit that
out.
in 1 second.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so this verse was about ceasing and pray without ceasing, rejoice always. And I loved his message because it's easy to say those things, but sometimes, and most times, there's a lot of hard things. Just walking outside and somebody spills coffee on you, that could be the hardest thing in your day. Or you have hurt going on in your life, or death and real big things happening. But can we still find joy? And can we still have fun during those times?
Even when the handle on the Topo Chico box breaks and it shatters a whole bunch of the glass all over?
Yeah, and bleeds all over your hand.
Yeah, I had
just
blood all
happened
over my
in
hand.
30 minutes ago.
That was a little bit later in the day.
Exactly.
Or when I almost hit that guy in the car earlier.
Oh, yeah, and he really yelled at you.
He really did. I feel like it's
Dino rolled down the window and was like, I am so sorry. And he was like, yo, get out of here.
I'm like, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He's like, don't you have a backup camera? I'm like, you're right. I am very, very sorry.
Bend over, let him spank you.
I feel like that. I feel like that's what it is. Did you ever read the book, The Whipping Boy?
No.
We're all over the place in this podcast. And honestly, I needed it. I had a day today. And I need to just goof around a little bit with you, you know?
Your thoughts.
You never read the book, The Whipping Boy?
No.
It was literally about, do you know what a whipping boy is?
Yes.
The concept of this?
Yeah.
You really do?
Yeah.
Tell me. Now I want to know. What is this?
I don't know.
You don't know? back in the day when like
You just tell somebody what to do, and they're your little like, "Hey, do this for me, do that
you
for
have
me."
no idea what a whipping boy is, but you literally were like, I know what this is.
Well, you go in with confidence. I didn't know you were going to challenge me.
This episode's not going to be about anything substantive at all. It's just going to be you and me
go.
goofing around. A whipping boy is I'm going to probably butcher this actually myself, but somebody's going to call me out.
Again,
I
prep
think,
work would be
I
value.
think what it is there's like a prince or a king, like king has a prince and the kid does bad things, but they can't beat the kid. So they have another kid that just is like alongside that kid. And anytime the prince does
that's
something
terrible.
wrong, that's what a whipping boy is.
So that's you today?
Yeah.
Or
like,
in the last?
I feel like today I'm just like this random
Since
whipping boy. Like,
January
what did Yes. My life right now is
Seriously.
literally the whipping boy.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on right now? Oh, it doesn't matter. Whack Dino with something, you know? No, it's not. It's not that bad. Honestly, it's been a great year. It's been awesome. I loved every single second of it.
Drink your beer.
I wish it was. It's a
know.
lemon LaCroix.
No, but life, if we've mentioned, there's a lot going on, but let's still have fun together. And how do we do that? So first of all, I think getting your mind in the right mindset is really valuable. I'm going to go back to it. I think probably every episode from now on until forever is get into the word. Like you can't have joy and you can't have peace
unless you know where your joy
comes from. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was right?
You do.
Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say something else, but that actually is right. Yes. So I was going to say, unless you know the Lord, but yeah, unless you know where your joy comes from.
Yeah.
And so I thought we'd go through a couple of the things that we do that are fun.
We're going to talk about that on a podcast?
There's a lot more things that we do that are fun. What it is, in all seriousness, a way to have fun just in the everyday of marriage is to joke around with one another.
Be playful.
And be playful. And so that's just like a baseline. But
I like to tease. That like teasing and
Yes.
to me that's flirtatious.
Right.
But if all I do is tease,
Yes.
and it's 100% of that and 0% of the like love, it comes off not so good.
I'm kind of, I would say, like dudeish a little bit with humor. I can take a lot and nothing offends me. Nothing is too crude. Like I can handle it. But when Dino starts to get too much, when there's a, like the balance isn't set right. And it's like, I'm like, wait, you remember, I am not a dude though, remember? Like I have to tell him, you have to do the other stuff too.
I hang out with the boys all the time, and now they're at a fun age, so I'm constantly just screwing with them all the time, and I'll go off and like go to the gym and screw with them the whole time there.
Our
the whole
boys,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, our sons. And then come home, and then I'll start continue that pattern, and I'm like, oh wait, I kind of can't do that.
Yeah, that would be, I guess, my first thing of having fun together is just living life together and being able to be lighthearted together.
Absolutely.
So that means, making sure you weed out all of the things that kind of bog you down in your relationship together. But even if you have those issues and have those things that are between you, I still think that it's a way to break a barrier just to be playful with one another.
Yep.
But also remembering to not take things too seriously. And obviously don't say things that are like purposely mean.
No.
It's with love and
Yeah.
funness and playfulness and
Yes.
flirtiness, you know?
So here's the other one that I have on this one, in terms of having fun, is an aspect of this is ensuring that you are putting your head in the right space and the right things in your life in the right context. So prime example of this is that you and I have been going through some random difficult things that have been going on, and I'm going to keep going back to something that Susan said to me, and it is that you have to make sure that you are weighing all the things that are going on in your life through the lens of their level of importance.
Right. I think
So
we talked about this on last week's episode.
And I'm going to keep hitting it.
But it
because it's been
really,
the gift that keeps on
honestly,
giving.
it did change my entire week
saying.
because there is this chaos going on around us, and just changing my perspective, keeping my eyes fixated on the Lord, I'm like able to see you and have fun with you and see the kids and enjoy the kids and go off paddleboarding, go for a walk and find contentment and joy and peace and even just like right now, cleaning, wiping off the counters. I was literally thinking to myself, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like I feel filled
Because
and I'm cleaning.
The lie is, how can I have fun right now? I have so many serious things going on.
Satan.
And there's my children and this and blah, blah, blah. It's so funny. Anything that is in that list of how can I have fun right now, it's not consequential. It's not. There's other aspects of your life that are significantly more important, and that is your spouse, your kids. Actually, past that, it doesn't really matter. If you have food in your mouth, like, you can enjoy your life regardless of the harder things. And you can still say, hey, I can go out the door and live in this other compartment over here, go out in the world, slay dragons and deal with work things and whatever drama is going on. And then I go home, and then those things don't get to come anymore. You know,
I think that's one of the biggest things is we bring home the problems of the world. We bring home the problems of work and the outside stresses. We allow them into our home.
Yeah.
And we have to not allow them into our home.
Yep.
Now, what if the problems are in your home?
You got to deal with your crap, man. Get your house in order. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, that's half the other podcast episodes that we're generally talking about is get your house in order and making sure your priorities are right and things like that. But let's assume that those things are generally, your house is a place of peace and respite and enjoyable. And if not, then listen to the first 25 episodes of the podcast.
I also think that, like like I said earlier, it's another way of breaking that barrier and breaking not everything has to be so serious. Sometimes you need the fun and you need the laughter and the joy to be able to get to the serious stuff too. Trying to find ways to connect, to have fun. And even just a simple thing is, especially for moms, I think we get in the rut of the day-to-day life. And I've found myself, lately, I have like not been dancing as much around the house, or even am I smiling as I'm walking around the house? I want to be joyful on the inside and not just be like, faking it, but I want.
that was a really creepy smile.
The eyes have to get really big too. But I want that joy to be inside and outside and for it to flow out of me. And because I want the kids to see that in me too. And I want them to have fun.
What would you say to a person who says, hey, the majority of my fun is actually outside the house? I go off and go goof around with my friends. That's how I really get the majority of my fun. Or I go and do other things without my family that I haven't structured to. This is playing off your previous question, but I haven't set up my house where that's the place where things are great. And I do actually have the majority of my fun outside the house. I'm curious what your perspective is here.
Well, I would piggyback off what you said and getting your house in order. And that's so important. If it's the kids and the stress of all the activities or not having a bedtime and then the kids running the household, then I would fix that and switch that around. Get in control of the schedule. If you're too busy with sports, cut some sports back. If you're you have no evening time with your spouse, set a bedtime.
What would you say to the couple that has structured, and this is, I actually am getting nervous about this direction because it's so opposite of how you and I live, and I don't want to be overly critical about opposite things because other people have things that work for them, but I'm curious of something. For the couple that says, hey, the wife goes off and with her friends and goes and that's how she spends the majority of her fun time, and the guy says, hey, I'm going to go off and we'll take turns. You go do your fun thing. I'll go do my fun thing. But we don't really do a lot of like fun things together.
I mean, how I feel about that.
This could get spicy. This could upset some people.
I don't think it should. I mean, it doesn't matter if it upsets people.
I know, but I know that. But what you were saying, you know how I feel about that. I might know, but I'm curious.
It's not wrong to go off and have fun outside of your house and to have fun with your friends. That's totally fine. The goal, though, should be to have fun, find a way to have fun with your spouse also. And eventually, like, that's the most fun. It should be
that's
like,
the answer.
This is your person that you're with forever till the end, through the kids, through the sickness, through the health, through the finances. Like, learn how to have fun together now.
I think you and I had fun early on, but I would still deviate and be like, I'm going to go play video games or go hang out with my buddies or go do all this stuff.
Oh, yeah, you dropped me so fast.
It was more
if
fun.
There was a video game happening, I was out.
Yeah. So, but over time,
and
I never go do those things.
And I would just be there waiting for you to come back to me. Whatever, I'd go online and I'd shop and I'd spend all your money.
You would, and then we would have a different thing to argue about.
I know. And then round and round we went.
But what I was going to say, though, is that I have found that as time's gone on, I have less and less, because we've invested so much into a good house scenario, like a good household relationship with you, good kid scenario where I'm not frustrated all the time and they're actually extremely fun to hang out with and do things with. I really hate doing anything with anybody else at this point. And no offense to anybody else. I love you all. You're all great. You know, my buddies.
That's not
and things
true.
Like that.
You
But
don't
for the most
hate
part,
it.
in comparison, I would always rather hang out with you and or kids.
You're not. You mean like you? We like hanging out with a couple people.
I do.
But you're not wanting to go hang out with you're not dying to go out on a bro dinner.
No. That is my nightmare is going to hang out with a bunch of
I don't really
buddies.
want to go on a chick
bunch of
dinner
guy buddies.
either.
No? A bunch of girls
I want
go
to go with you and our friends.
That I'd be down for.
Yeah.
That
Totally.
I'd be down for. But like the idea of leaving you and going and doing something fun at this point, that is not, there's so much more fun that I can have with you, you know? Because we've developed our relationship in a way that says, this is the most amount of fun I'm going to have is hanging out with you.
Okay, so
goofing
if you're married and you're in a relationship and you want to find that fun, I was thinking, let's try to go through some things of what you can do to try to, if it's not the norm to have fun, but
my husband and I, we want to have more fun together, but we don't really, the fun isn't there. We're more roommates-ish,
Yeah.
or we just get, like, we're great in the household structure, but less, like, buddies to go goof around and have fun with.
So first of all, I would say get your house in order. Figure out your priorities and what is in the way of having fun and connecting. If it's the kids, if it's schedule, if it's whatever, going through and even writing it down or sitting down and talking about it. And then figuring out how you can get onto the same page so you actually have the time and energy to have fun together.
Yeah.
Then I would say the first thing is each person should be thinking about what the other person likes to do to have
That's what I was
fun.
going to say. Is you have to have an open mind. Because
have to have
you
an
and
open
you and I had very few things. I mean, we had TV. We'd goof around and watch TV.
Yeah.
We like to do that early on.
I
We
would
still
say
do now,
this
but-
is hugely important and probably one of the number one things that people ask me online too is because they say, how is Dino so cool with like going off and doing this thing and so, open to doing that? Dino was the no guy. Everything was no, like no change, same schedule, same structure, like nothing, nones, zero, nothing. Just no, all the time. And so...
This is painting such a great light of you, you know?
Whatever. I was crazy, though. I needed the nose. But just, being open to the idea of trying something. And I think, when we say things like in definitives, like, say I loved the ballet. And Dino would just say, I don't do ballets. Or Dino likes to golf. I would just be like, I don't do golfing.
I don't do the golf.
How about, let's say, it's not my thing, but I actually don't even know. Let me go try it with you. If it's fun for you.
You're going to play Fortnite with me now in the boys?
I'll suck at that.
You're so full of it then. You got to do the thing you say you're going to do.
Do you want me to play Fortnite?
No, not at all.
So you're full of it.
All right, you got a good point there. I don't want to play Fortnite with you. That's like my nightmare.
Listen, you can have one area that I'm not coming into dominating.
I think that's half the point, though, is that we're kind of getting at here, is that there's certain areas that you should actually be intentful about trying to find an interest in that your spouse has.
Yeah.
And there's so many areas that I've had to tear out of myself to give room for areas that are important to you.
Dino likes different foods now. When we first got married, he had never had hummus before.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Avocado.
Avocado.
I had not eaten
What's
an
wrong
avocado.
with you?
No guacamole. It was like green.
You lived in California.
This isn't my fault, all right? I have parents. They make these types of decisions for me, all right?
I forgot about that. I was going to say something crazy, like you had never had Indian food together. And the first time I took him to Indian food, he got diarrhea.
Oh, man. I had
So did I, though.
That was... Maybe not back alley Indian food.
It was not
Maybe
good.
that.
It was not a good place.
No, it was gray.
But
okay, it was gray.
We're actually
meat.
making Indian food tonight.
I know. It's not going to be gray. I'll make it good.
Yeah, but trying those things together, and you have become such a different person now because you've been open-minded, and so have I. Like, I'm open to the things that you like to do. We're open to, because we love each other.
Yeah.
And it's a reflection of our love
towards
one another by being open to what the other person wants.
So my suggestion is make a deal. Like, go to your spouse and say, hey, I'll make a deal with you. This is an important area to me. I think that this is one that's important
Here
to you.
comes the pancake challenge.
It literally is. That's
Yeah.
why I got good at cooking.
Yeah.
We did this.
We
So
did an episode.
we
on
did
the
a whole
pancake.
episode on
Yeah,
pancake
so go back
challenge.
and listen to the pancake challenge because there's a lot of details.
Very,
on
very
that.
quick version of the pancake challenge is that you have something that is interesting for you that you would like me to get involved with that I could also work and bless you in, and vice versa. There's
serve,
an area, yes,
yeah.
and serve and be just practice in an area that I find important, and vice versa. And if we both did those things with the heart of really trying to, love it,
Yeah.
then maybe things would be different,
Yeah. And that was probably one of the big things in our marriage that changed our marriage and just how we live life together, because it caused us and pushed us to find joy in doing what the other person likes to do.
Yeah. And for me, total side note on this one though, but it was because for me, it was an area that allowed me to feel more comfortable with you in and take more walls down with you. It, for me, just made me even more bonded with you.
Yeah, it totally does, because I mean, think about your mine was food back then, and so you're thinking about what would Ash like, and this would taste so good, and I wonder if she would like this. It's now you have your mind fixated on serving and finding out who I am and adoring after me. Like, how could you not fall in love with me? You know, even more.
If you're going to do this, go listen to that podcast episode because there's some gotchas.
There's some traps you can fall into.
And it's not good. You don't want a quid pro quo scenario where, I'll do this, but I'm only doing it so I can get something out of it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be doing that.
That doesn't feel good.
The goal should be to focus on the sacrifice. What am I tearing out of myself? What am I going to remove out of me so that I can put something in that's of interest to you? And I think a good chunk of marriage is just the two shall become one. That I can't continue to be all me and then us at the same time. Mm-hmm. There has to be an aspect of sacrifice. And the natural intuition is to say that sacrifice is going to be extremely painful and I'm going to lose all the fun and all the good things are going to be gone. It's going to be lame. It's not true. It's not how it works.
Yeah.
You get something back that's way better.
It is. It is. So much room for fun within our marriages.
Yeah.
And we just have to, a lot of times, just make the decision that we want to live our life that way.
Yeah. Sit down with your spouse, have a conversation about this and say, hey, how much fun are we having right now? Because it's not really fun.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is really fun and that's great. Good for you. But if it's not very fun right now, just be like, go and say, hey, can we just talk about little things that maybe we could do?
Yeah.
Maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes of compromise where we could find something together.
Yeah.
And then with the intent of trying to get to all day long, every day, you and me are goofing around and having fun together. I mean, that's how you and I now actively try to structure our day.
It is. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about this before too, but even just like in the morning, kind of getting each other excited for something that could happen later on. Like, ooh, do you want to like go for a walk later? We'll go paddleboarding with the kids and we'll, have a date night in our room, like something to be like, ooh, that's something we get to look forward to. And then we can flirt about it all day long with each other, you know?
Yeah. We already have a charcuterie board that we went and got at a place down the road so that after we say goodnight to the kids tonight, it's
we have a date night in bed eating cheese.
Yep. We're going to eat meat and cheese. Nothing sexier than meat and cheese in bed with your spouse. Right?
Hey, whatever works, you know?
Hey, if that's what gets it going, you know? That's
Another thing is like on a grander scale, just, how you do life in general. Life is short. And the older that we get and the older our kids get, it is hitting us every single day to seize the day and live life to the fullest. And that means living life to the fullest for the Lord and in obedience to Him. So seeking after the things that He wants us to be doing. And that means living life open-handedly, even more. We're even talking about this year, what could we do that would be fun right now or fun this year? Just kind of thinking outside of the box. I think that we just get so bogged down by rules and things that the world tells us, like societal things. And God is limitless. Let Him lead you. If He's trying to push you down a path, let Him lead you down that road.
Yeah. I do think that there's a certain type of person, like you and I are very adventurous.
But we weren't.
That's true.
You definitely weren't.
But I don't think everybody has to be go and adventure is the fun thing. I think that some people could just have an insane amount of fun having a homestead with chickens and goats and being extremely happy, and that's what they're. Honestly, I would be okay with that for a good chunk of my life as well.
I think there's
Doesn't have to be
seasons for things, and I completely agree with you. I'm more just saying this as like for the people that need to hear that portion, but absolutely with everything that we say, except for things that are, out of God's word, we're hoping that you take parts of what we're saying. It's not going to.
It's the heart. It's not the specifics. Hopefully, people are just understanding. The
heart we're not setting rules for life, but we're saying, hey, this is what we've learned. This is what has worked. This is what has not worked. Yeah. And the really cool thing is like what Dino just said. There was seasons of our life is this. There's been seasons of our lives. These are the days of our lives that we have been getting after it and starting businesses and moving here and doing this. And now we're in a different season where we can kind of feel that shift. God's moving us in a different direction. And I love that too. But in order for us to do that, we have to be seeking after Him. We have to be open-handed and willing to do something different also.
Amen. I think that right there about sums up the gist of the spirit of this fun episode is be willing to do something different. Just if you're not having fun right now and you want to have fun, try something different than what you got going on right now.
Yeah, be silly. Yeah. But sometimes to be silly, you feel like you have to be vulnerable. Well, go back and watch all 25 or however many episodes so you can get to that vulnerable state.
It's true.
Okay.
All right, that was a good one.
Let's go on a date right now.
Can we go have fun now?
Yeah,
I've been in a mood all day, and I'm sorry.
This podcast was fun.
It was. I needed it. I wanted it this morning, but we got kicked in the
But
junk.
we wouldn't have had the same fun earlier.
You don't know that.
I know. I'm a doctor. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
All right, bye.